Hey folks, this is Kalani. Welcome back to the Blackrock Foundry raid guide for normal and heroic. This time we'll be looking at Kromog. There's a lot to avoid in this fight, so your raiders are going to need to be quick on their toes. But first, let's position your raid. You want 2 tanks to one side of the boss, all your melee to the other side of the boss, then all your ranged and healers should be loosely stacked. This seems to be one of the best ways to deal with most of his abilities. Your tanks need to make sure they're stacked up on top of each other most of the fight due to Kromog's ability, Fists of Stone. Basically, he's going to share his melee hits between your 2 tanks. If one of your tanks is not near the other, your melee will start taking hits, which isn't ideal. Sadly, your tanks are going to have to perform a tank switch because Kromog has an ability called Warped Armor. That's going to reduce your movement speed and increase the physical damage you take, which is going to be really nasty throughout the rest of the fight. You need to swap that at around 3 stacks. The last ability that your tanks need to worry about is Slam. This is going to do a huge amount of damage to the target, but it's going to be reduced if the target is further away from Kromog. That means the tank who is getting slammed needs to run as far away as possible, though trying to stay within 15 yards due to Fists of Stone. Either way, they need to get away from the boss when Slam is being cast, and then get back as quickly as possible. This should take a bit of the edge off Slam and make sure your tanks aren't getting one-shot. The next ability I want to talk about is Rippling Smash. Kromog will face a random direction and smash the ground, sending forth a nasty shockwave which you need to avoid. Pretty simple, if he faces you, move to the left or right. Now every time Kromog casts Slam and Rippling Smash, it's going to be accompanied by reverberations. These are little orbs which will spawn near Kromog and move towards the outside areas of the room. Getting hit by these is going to deal a lot of damage, so they need to be avoided at all costs. As a note, the melee can be completely safe from the reverberations on the left behind the crates, but they'll also be out of range of your healers, so they will need to dip back and forth if you choose to use that in your tactics. Next up is Stone Breath, a pretty typical AoE. It's going to deal damage to your entire raid. Help your healers out and stack loosely where you can, and make sure everyone's topped off. Next up is Rune of Crushing Earth. This is going to spawn on one of the random ranged or healers, and it's going to bring 2 hands up out of the floor and a nice red rune will appear. Stay clear of it and you'll be perfectly safe. Anyone who gets within those hands will be dragged into the center and stunned for a long period of time and take a huge amount of damage. So just avoid those at all costs. Very easy to see, very easy to avoid. The last 2 abilities he has works in unison. He's going to start casting Rune of Grasping Earth and then Thundering Blows shortly afterwards. Thundering Blows is going to deal a stupid amount of damage to you in AoE and knock you way up into the sky. So if you don't die from the AoE, you're probably going to die from the fall damage unless you're protected from physical damage. But Rune of Grasping Earth is going to put some small yellow runes on the floor, which after a short duration will spring forth with a stone hand. That stone hand will grab you, doing a small amount of damage over time, but it will protect you from thundering blows. They need to be DPS down to get anyone out, so you want to get in a hand, DPS them down by the time Thundering Blows is just about to finish, so you're in a hand for the duration, and then come out as quickly as possible after Thundering Blows has ended. And that's pretty much the fight. You can do a few tricky things with the hands and Thundering Blows, like Ice Block, Bubble, Hand of Protection, that kind of thing to save you from the physical damage, but it's actually not too bad just having everybody get in a hand and make sure your DPS are DPSing them down as quickly as they can. As I say, it's a big safety dance. Avoid the smashes, avoid the reverberations, avoid the runes, get in your hands, DPS things down, and make sure your tanks aren't getting one-shot by Slam. That should be enough to take down Kromog on normal and heroic, but if you have any questions or queries, please leave them in the comment section below and I'll try to get back to you. Feel free to check out any of my other videos for Blackrock Foundry normal and heroic. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.